What do you say?
He said, oh, okay.
Do the remodel, we could host one of these.
All right, welcome everybody. This is our second time this month doing this talk and the fourth time this year. And with feedback from people in the community like you, we have updated this presentation every single time. So this is hot off the presses with your partners up in San Francisco area. So my name is Felipe Engineer Manriquez.
And I am no Engineer Manriquez's son.
No, you're not your own son. Yeah.
His son.
Yeah. You're my
His
son.
son.
Yeah. Got it. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So he's actually helped. He's been using AI for how long?
I've been using AI for a couple years, like maybe like when it first got popular.
Yeah. And I've been using AI since about 2018, 2017. I lose track of when I started. In construction, some of the things we're going to show today, I've got experience. Everything I'm showing you, I've learned self-taught, and I've used the AI to help teach me as AI is helping itself to teach itself. We're going to talk about that. We want to make this interactive, so if you've got questions as we're coming up, we're not going to lose our place. We know what we're going to say, so just put your hand up, get your question out, and we'll move on. But I just want to acknowledge everybody for coming in, and this is meant to be super interactive. The first question you might have, will I share the slides with you? The answer is yes. I will send you an email. If you're a paid registered person, you get an email from me within a couple days of going to Mexico. So you hold me accountable and make sure that they get it.
I will.
With the Dropbox link. And if you're here as a guest, just send me a DM and I will send you a link via LinkedIn. And so you can get the slides as well. Because we believe in sharing, transparency. We're all going to grow together. So a little bit about me. I've got a podcast, in case you don't know. It's the EBFC show, the easier, better for construction podcast. Published a book on construction Scrum a couple years ago. I think we're on our second year anniversary.
Yeah.
And I've been registered Scrum Master and trainer for several years. It's what I'm super passionate about. I work for the Bolt Company by day with this is all extracurricular, volunteering for LCI for almost a decade now. And I work for Bolt as a project delivery services director across multiple projects, both in California and beyond. And then you want to tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I am a professional learner. All right, I believe in learning, teaching myself, and getting help from others. And AI is a way that I can do that. I can just learn better, more efficiently.
Yeah. And he's our COP intern, unpaid for the summer.
Yeah.
So make sure you ask him a lot of questions. Exactly. Yeah, we want to thank all the sponsors that make these types of events possible. So if you're on this list, I see a couple of you here. Just raise your hand. We just want to acknowledge you. Acknowledge you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's give them a round. Thank you for supporting this. This wouldn't happen without your support. Yes, thank you, JP. JP made a call and made it happen. So that's a true story. That gets a fist bump. Yeah. Yes, Dwan.
Sutter is not on this list.
He's asking why Sutter is not on this list. That's a great question. I'm gonna look at. Yeah. They get all the benefits, Dwan. That's a good question. I'll ask Chris next time I see him. Yeah, exactly.
We'll hit them up next year for 4,000.
We'll hit them up. So we're gonna have a couple QR codes that come up to the presentation. This is the first one. Follow our LinkedIn group. We're gonna have events every single month, sometimes multiple times a month, and we'll even have some events that are free streamed online. So if you follow this, you won't miss anything there. We've got more events coming up. That'll come up again at the end.
This is our second QR code, plus Delta. Plus is giving feedback that you like, positive feedback, things that you liked. The Delta is something that you didn't like, something you want to be changed, something you want added in or subtracted out.
And when can they give us the feedback?
You can anytime.
Anytime.
Anytime. We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll put that back up at the end. That was good. He had like 2 seconds of prep before we started. If you're interested in joining LCI, Marianne Fiala is who to contact. And if you forget, just contact me. I'll get you in touch with her if your company's already a corporate member. We have now about 30 communities. Houston's about to become another community, so LCI is going to have 30. I speak at many. I helped to co-start up St. Louis. I started back in LA, and now I'm the chair of here, Northern California, and we have 17 active volunteers. If you're a volunteer on our core team, would you put your hand up? Got a couple, I want to recognize them. Let's give them a round. Thank you. It's all for love. It's all for love while we volunteer after our day job to put on events like these so we can all learn together. And we're in the top 3 highest performing COPs in the community. If you're a corporate member, you can get all of these trainings now for free. So check that out on LCI site when you log in. And if you're interested in sponsoring, like Dwan said, you want to send an email to my partner on the core team, Juan Restrepo, and he will give you prorated membership benefits, 3 people per event per year, plus supporting all of us. Like, let's all help each other. Yes, Dwan?
If Senator can afford a $2,000,
Yeah. You said you'll donate the $2,000 for Sutter if they can. There we go. So we have a commitment. Thank you so much.
your name is Trevor?
Yeah.
You wrote it
Yeah.
down.
Thank you. You got it. You got it. That's committed language right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's committed language. So I also want to, if you've got people in your organizations who benefit from some videos, LCI now has a field crew huddle. So check that out. And here's some upcoming training opportunities. In July, we're going to be going to Genentech's campus. I know it's a little bit of a drive for us here in Sacramento, but I go back and forth every day. If I could do it, you could do it. We'll take up to 150 people at that event. The last time we were on Genentech's campus, we were just shy of 100 folks. This facility can hold 150 people. We'll have a safety panel presentation in July. The first one, July 10th.
Thank you.
And then August 14th through the rest of the month. And we're going to add more events. So I know the calendar says that, but we're going to sneak in some more. So definitely follow us on LinkedIn. And then our next training coming up August 2nd will be the 4-hour LCI AI-powered Scrum training, which we debuted at the Design Forum this year. And then on September 5th and 6th, we'll have a high-performance leadership training that's going to take your facilitation, meeting skills, leadership skills on your projects to not this level, but which level? This level. We'll take you to the whole nother level. You're going to go up. So Congress is here is in beautiful San Diego. If you can come and hang out with us in San Diego, please do. If you're an owner, there are still owner scholarships available. Or if you know an owner, 2 owners from any organization can submit an application on LCI's website for the owner scholarship. You get a stipend for travel and you get free admission. So I think there are only 10-ish spots left. And now it's time for the feature presentation. What are we going to cover today?
So today we're going to start off with AI and safety, then we have AI future trends and ethics, AI and estimating and pre-con, management, then scheduling and collaboration, and last but not least, in lean design and planning.
Last but not least. That's right. Say the best for last. So when we did this the first time, we didn't have all these videos in here. So we add, just to show, we take your feedback and we change this presentation. So this one I'm going to cue up first. This comes from a video that was put out earlier in 23, and this is the title of the YouTube video. This is just going to be a clip, 2 speakers, Tristan and I forget the other gentleman's name. He might say his name. You can see, Azza. There you go, Azza, thank you. They're going to discuss some of the things that we're going to talk about today, and I just want to cue up. And where this came from, this insertion of this video came from plus delta feedback we got from Digby Christian. So those of you who know Digby know that he can sometimes be harsh. I did have satin pillows and my tears were not visible in the morning. I got over it. We want your feedback. And then after this video plays, I added this video literally 3 minutes before we started in Redwood City, the first time we did this, because we had a researcher in the mix. So you're going to see me live prompting here. I just screen recorded this after we hear from Tristan and Azza.
That's the fundamental question to ask.
And I want to note for you that in this presentation, we're not going to be talking about the AGI or artificial general intelligence apocalypse. If you read the Time magazine article saying we need to bomb data centers with nukes because AI is going to lose control and just kill everybody in one fell swoop, we're actually not talking about that.
Not
so we
talking
can just
about that
set
today.
all those concerns aside. And I just want to say that we've also been skeptical of AI too. I actually kind of missed some of this kind of coming up. Aza's been scanning the space for a while. Why are we skeptical of AI? Well, you use Google Maps and it still mispronounces the name of the street or your girlfriend, right? And so here's our, quick homage to that.
Siri set a 9-hour and 50-minute timer.
Playing the Beatles.
So we've all had that experience, but what we want to get to is, so why suddenly Does it feel like we should be concerned about AI now?
Yeah, so why? So this is GPT 4.0. And so I'm typing in, I'm saying I'm hosting an event for LCI. I don't know that it knows LCI, so I tell it, Lean Construction Institute, about AI and future-proofing construction. What are some topics for managers? You can see how bad my typing is. What are some AI topics management should know about so that they can start using your capabilities now for their projects? Also, I got a special guest. At the time, I had a visiting lecturer from Texas in the audience. So I wanted to give me one dad level joke on research. So give me a dad joke on research related. And you can see in seconds, I get topics, predictive analytics, I get quality control, digital twins for where are my VDC people at? Yuhan's there, AI driven collaboration tools. And then there's the joke. Why did the AI researcher go broke? Because they couldn't find common sense. So bad.
It hurts.
So bad. I said dad level joke. So you could see that I just talked to it like I would talk to a child or a young adult, depending on what perspective you have. And it took that context, it understood things about my industry, things about construction, even the nuance on the joke in the same conversation. So I wanted something technical, something about itself, and then a joke. And it did all that in that simple prompt. So a lot of things that I've recognized as I've scanned and used AI, most people see this box and they confuse this box for a search box. And they talk to AI like as if this is Google, and it's not. So if you don't give it all that type of context, it doesn't know. At best.
It says message. You're talking to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes like you can give it documents. Like you see that it's got now, and GPT 4.0's got this clipboard. We're going to go an example on how to upload files and even using some non-OpenAI examples as well. You'll get to play with today on your own cell phones if you want to.
All right, so AI and safety.
Okay, so a year ago, we were in Detroit at the Design Forum, or at the LCI Detroit Annual Congress, and I got the short straw to, yeah, we're safe. I got the short straw to put together this presentation as a safety advertiser, sponsor for LCI. They said you got 3 minutes. So what can I do in 3 minutes to show something that was trending at the time was AI, still hot apparently, and it was a safety moment, so why not do something on safety? So what I did is I said to the audience, hey, many of us use things like Power BI, dashboards for safety, so we can have insights. And the simple process, all those things really just, we have observations, we put it into some kind of spreadsheet form, something, we get a dashboard, and then we should deploy corrective measures. That's the process that generates all this. So let me talk to, this was GPT 3.5 at the time. Hi, who am I speaking with?
Greetings, I am Morpheus, a conductor of expert agents. My purpose is to assist you in achieving your goals by aligning with your preferences and calling upon the perfect expert for your task. What would you like to accomplish today?
Oh, thank you, Morpheus. My name is Felipe, and I'm working on an AI presentation for the Bolt Company.
Hello, Felipe. It's a pleasure to meet you. Working on an AI safety presentation for predictive analytics is a critical task.
I'm making a presentation to showcase the power of AI and predictive analytics. Let's take it one step further and bring in an AI avatar using just my imagination.
Understood, Felipe. Time is of the essence, and your goal is to create an on-the-fly AI safety presentation focusing on the shift from current safety measures to predictive-based safety metrics and forecasting. My task ends when your presentation is ready to be delivered.
So I hit stop, I get a full
How does this
transcript of
look
the
for you?
conversation.
Artificial
And then I get
intelligence
to
has
this.
transformed every industry, so why not lean construction too? Let me introduce myself. I'm AI Vinny. I'm Felipe's imagination of what New Metrics has named their AI engine. I'm already working beyond just analyzing photos from construction management system observations. I'm evaluating countless data sets and conditions to help predict where incidents are likely to occur next.
Okay, so when I reviewed this internally with our company, they said, don't make it a commercial for New Metrics. That's what we were using at the time. Subsequently, since Detroit, New Metrics has been bought by Oracle, as Oracle buys many things. And Oracle shut down this AI engine temporarily while they investigate the parameters and see how it integrates with their own software protocols. So I took this AI avatar, Vinny, and anywhere New Metrics showed up, I just put this image over that logo. So it wasn't a commercial for New Metrics. And that just went on for about 2 minutes. So I used probably 5 different programs to create that short 3-minute thing, but I did it all in less than 2 hours and with no prior training on this, by just having dialogue conversations back and forth with AI. I used the AI to create everything you just saw in 2 hours with no experience other than just talking to it. That's it. I asked it to recommend me the software to do this talking head, and it gave me 3 or 4 different. I chose this one because they had somebody that looked like a construction person. Like, I'm just shocked that nobody in the audience looks like AI Vinny today. But if you go into many of our construction projects, there's at least one guy that looks like AI Vinny on every job. Right or wrong, JP?
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, see, he knows. Yeah, he knows.
Okay.
So the concept with all of that, what I want to reinforce with each of you is this idea of human in the loop. Human in the loop is the way that I want you to see this process from now on whenever you're dealing with AI, when you're voluntarily dealing with it, because you're involuntarily dealing with AI all the time. But when you voluntarily engage, you have an idea, something that you want, you talk to the AI, you communicate in some way, shape, or form. It's going to be some form of language. We'll talk about language more. And then you need to discern with your perception, your senses, is the information I'm getting good? Does it make sense? And what am I going to do with it? How am I going to responsibly use it? So I tell people, and I've got this transcript showing, I want you to imagine to keep yourself safe, because I don't want anyone to get in trouble with their organizations. And I'll talk about Bolt's AI policy in a couple more slides. But I want you to imagine that whatever you give it, unless you're on a paid subscription where they've promising to keep your privacy as part of the terms and conditions private, every interaction is teaching the AI, and numerous times there have been hacks and data breaches where things that people train the AI on have been released back to the public, and people's private confidential information has become out in public and it's vulnerable. So just imagine that when you talk to it, it could be published on Yahoo News or whatever news is. I don't even know if Yahoo News is still a thing, but whatever news.
It still is.
It's still a thing?
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Okay, that's good. So just talk to it in a way, anonymize the information. So I pick and choose, like at this time, I was compliant with our policy at Bolt. So I could say the Bolt Company. Later in January, our policy changed, and I had to say a general contracting company. I could now no longer say Bolt with OpenAI because of our company policy. So I want you all to be aware, what are your policies, keep yourself safe, and then don't take what it gives you like it's right. There have been times, especially when it comes to basic math, I tell GPT, I'm like, that's not how you do this addition problem. Show your work, and then it apologizes and says, you're right, it shows its work, and then it does the math correctly. So you can challenge it and say, I don't think that's correct, or citing your sources, it has a hard time with that. There are other platforms like Anthropic's Claude, which does better at citing its sources, or the white labeled Copilot, which Microsoft has, it's still OpenAI, naturally will cite its sources in the environment through the Bing browser engine. Any questions on human in the loop so far? Does anybody, by show of hands, who works at a company that has a policy on AI today? So almost everybody?
Probably.
Okay, and then there's people that don't know, so you just witnessed, some people don't know. Their
That's
companies
okay.
don't.
That's all right.
Totally okay. We're all learning together.
Yep.
It's a safe
No, it's
space.
blocked.
So their company is blocked. Anyone, who else is, their company's just blocked AI on company computers? So it's just you, JP. So it's just JP. It could just be him.
Yeah,
Probably.
maybe.
They block a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay, so let's meet Claude. So Claude is another large language model. It's a type of AI. And if you would like to practice, you're free to take out your phone, hit that QR code. It'll take you to Claude. You will have to give it your email in exchange to use it for free. So we'll let people get there. And we have a prompt for you to try. So the prompt is, act as a construction safety professional in the United States of America. What are the top accident categories that I should look for on my next hospital construction site job walk? So the prompt is right here. You want to try on your phone?
Feel free to write in a question mark instead of that period at the end. Yelling
No,
at me.
that's true.
Killing me.
Okay. Yeah. His mom trained him well.
Good call.
So see, it'll even take my bad grammar and give me an output. So when I ran this through in January, this is the output I got. So there's my prompt, and then Claude gives me something to look for on falls, something to look for on 6 more areas, including struck by incidents, electrocution hazards, caught in betweens, trenching incidents, noise and respiratory issues. And then each one of those was a lot of words as well, but I consolidated because you only have so much space on the slide.
Yeah.
And then it said at the bottom, these categories are some of the major risks I would be checking for on my hospital construction site inspection. Let me know if you need any other details or have additional questions. So you can right away see from how GPT gave us the research response, a lot of data, a lot of good stuff. Claude is much more natural language. That's one of the nuanced differences in how they were trained. These language models have a little bit of a personality, and Claude tends to be very more human-centric speech. Okay, anybody get anything they want to share when they prompted it? Did anyone get something different than falls, struck bys, electrocution, caught between, trenching?
Still setting up.
Still signing up? Okay.
Gotta verify your email address.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Hasn't followed through yet.
Yeah, so once you're in, it's pretty quick. We'll come back to Claude a couple times during this presentation, so you get a couple at-bats. Did you get in, Daryl?
I don't want to sign up yet.
Okay. That's totally cool.
It's done typing it all out.
It's totally voluntary. Okay, we'll wait. Let's give people a couple minutes and see. Have you ever used Claude before?
I have.
What are some of the things you've used Claude for?
So I've used Claude to ask about, like, I'm trying to do some research and I'm curious to see if it knows some of the same sources that I'm looking at. And lo and behold, it does, and it talks to me as if I were talking to it. So it's speaking in my own language. That was very helpful because it started revealing things that I didn't see in the sources that I picked.
Wow.
I got some.
You got something, Tom?
Yeah, falls, slips, trips, and falls.
Okay.
Ergonomics.
Ergonomics.
Oh, that's
Oh.
Chemical exposures, is that up there?
Electrical exposure?
No, chemical.
Chemical? No, it's not there.
there's electrocution hazards.
But not chemical.
That's true.
Heat stress.
Heat stress, yeah.
New.
Tripping
Yeah.
hazards, respiratory hazards,
Tripping, that's new.
Yeah.
noise
Yeah.
exposure, improper
That's also
use
new.
of PPE.
Yeah.
I had a hot water line let go one time on a patient. Love to see them.
Ooh.
Luckily, it didn't hurt him.
What?
Domestic hot
It
or
was it was for a CAV. It was for the
Okay.
system.
still? Ouch.
Yeah.
No free showers. Okay.
All right, we're going to look at future trends and ethics now.
Okay, so now we've seen a taste of safety. Let's look at what's coming up. So at our company, we did a deep dive in December of the end of last year. And part of our brainstorming, we just looked at what areas could we apply AI in. It's a blue sky, anything's possible. And these are all the things that we came up with. Safety was one of them. Marketing was one, industrialized construction, design, and more. This was part of our, and for some reason, I drew the short straw and I had to do the presentation on AI. I don't know why, Bruce, they picked me. And so from that deep dive across the company, they brought together about 50 people. We had some people focused on Internet of Things, some people focused on augmented reality. In my group, we had about 8 people. We were just focused on AI. We're probably more than 8. We're probably closer to 10 people. And one of the things that came out of that in our policy that was published in January AI responses must always be carefully verified by a human. And that came from our procedures at the time. Later, about 2 months later, hey Jesse, welcome. The company decided to close all access, and they blocked on our company computers all AI except for Grammarly.
Really?
So,
Really?
yeah, so Grammarly's okay, apparently. Like, we can write better
Awesome.
with Grammarly. So you could use, if you have a premium Grammarly account, it has AI in it as well, and you can do some drafting there. And the company said that that was due to some recent breaches in the media and concerns over privacy and client privilege information. So now, I think today, my partners tell me if I'm wrong, I think we have co-pilots turned on now for some people. You guys have co-pilot as well? So some companies now are turning on co-pilot. So co-pilot, and we'll show an example. Co-pilot is Microsoft's white glove version of OpenAI. It is OpenAI behind the scenes under the trunk, but it's in a confined environment that keeps your company's data segregated from the learning model. So if there is a breach, it have to be a local, your IT stuff got hacked, not OpenAI got hacked. Any questions about policy questions? Yuhan?
Policy.
The policy was only 2 pages. Yeah, and I was on an AI panel in December in Davis with our partners down there, and one of my friends from, I'm going to mess up what company he works for, an architecture firm, their AI policy was only 2 sentences. So a 2-sentence policy, and I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is. But it was short and sweet.
It's only 2 sentences. How'd you forget that?
I know, I forgot. I've read a lot of things since then.
So why should we feel like we should be concerned now? Go ahead.
Well, because something shifted in 2017. There was sort of a swap that happened, Indiana Jones style, between the kind of engine that was driving AI. And what happened is, technically, it's a model called Transformers. It's really interesting. It's only 200 lines of code. It's very simple. But the effect is this. When I went to college, AI had many different subdisciplines. And if you were studying computer vision, you'd use one textbook and you'd go over here to one classroom. If I was studying robotics, I'd go over here to another classroom with a different textbook. I couldn't read papers across disciplines. And every advance in one field couldn't be used in another field. So there'd be like a 2% advance over here, and that didn't do anything for, say, like music generation if it was from image generation. What changed is this thing called the Great Consolidation. All of these became one field under the banner of language. The deep insight is that you could treat anything as a kind of language, and the AI could model it and generate it. So what does that mean? Well, of course, you can treat the text of the internet as language.
So this is why you're going to see rapid accelerations now with the pace of AI. And we'll talk about the theory of mind in a couple more slides and videos. And just the way that you saw in the GPT 4.0, just the talking, dealing with the joke, and the technical stuff in the same prompt. A year ago, it couldn't do that. And then, like I said, we were in Detroit doing the voice-to-speech. The voice-to-speech that GPT has today can now translate, it can act as a real-time translator in more than 10 languages. So I can talk to it in English, and it'll real-time live translate my English into another language, even if I'm talking with another native speaker of another language. So the breakthroughs and the learning are now exponential breakneck speed. So any questions on what you've seen so far? No? Food's good? Yeah, Dwan's having seconds, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
So it's impacting our industry now. So here's a couple things on Gen AI, or generative artificial intelligence as it's called. That's a subset of the machine learning for content. And we'll see examples of this like in chatbots. We were just at a conference. ISTE is an education conference in Denver this week, and they actually had a chatbot that looked almost identical to that is meant to be.
You might want to claim some money.
Yeah,
You should.
But that was an AI-generated chatbot. So like all the images you see in this slide deck were all me just asking OpenAI to generate an image to bring some of these ideas to life. So that's what it answered me for a chatbot. And then we saw it, and it's designed to be a teacher's aid in the classroom, particularly for large classrooms, so that the teacher can be free and not have to interact with the kids or, as part of playtime. So I'm not sure about the sales of that chatbot in the
Well, all it
schools.
does is it just walks up to kids and they ask questions when they're doing their homework. At least that's what they were selling it as. But I feel like that's just a way for the teacher to goof off.
They've had that for a while, actually. No, they've had that actual robot for a while.
Yeah, the first time I saw one was at San Jose Airport too.
I saw it at Chabot Space and Science like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then we've got image generators like we talked about. On this one, I told OpenAI's DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E, I said, give me a picture of a construction worker on an active construction site where danger is imminent. And so,
Try to be ran over.
so there's a school bus pulling onto the site. The worker is at a desk. He's missing some PPE. And if you look closely, you'll see that his desk is on railroad tracks. So a lot of dangerous things. And all I said was giving me a dangerous work site. So put him on railroad tracks with the bus turning in, missing PPE, pretty accurate. Very dangerous. Kind of looks like Daryl, doesn't he?
Wait a minute.
What's up, Bruce?
Where's the construction? I mean, those are already built tracks.
Well, you got a bunch of project managers standing back here pointing at stuff.
I guess that counts.
Yeah, Friday at 4:30. There you go.
Standing
Okay.
around is like what Caltrans does, so it's the area.
Yeah. So some of the trends that we see and people talk about worker displacement. And in that same longer video, Tristan and Azza will talk about right now today in 2023, there are over 300 million jobs in the United States at risk of being eliminated with current AI technology capabilities now. 300,000. So what happened last year at the start of 23, we had a massive layoff of tech sector jobs. And these are just jobs in Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Yahoo, Meta, and Zoom. You can see in January, there was, let's say, 84,000 workers at that peak. And all the way down to November, I think December gets cut off, but it keeps trending all the way down. And these jobs continue to be lost. And I was having a conversation with one of my partners in San Francisco as we were driving, and he was asking me, he's like, do you think some of our jobs in general contracting could be eliminated? And I said, I definitely think so. I think they're at risk. And I polled the people at the other event, and I'll poll all of you, we'll see how you fare. But be aware that AI has a bias. It is biased. It's programmed by people, and people's interactions with it bias the AI, and it's trained on information from the internet, both the dark web, or things that you can't unsee, and the everyday web. And it also has an environmental impact. A lot of data centers now are being created to do all the processing of a lot of the different AI. So I just want to ask each of you now, before I play the next slide or video, do you think your job is at risk because of AI? And I'll tell you how the other people. If you think your job's at risk, put your thumb up. If you think you're totally safe, put your thumb down. If you're not sure, go sideways. So let's take a look. Your job's at risk. So we got about half. Okay, so you're a lot different than San Francisco. I'm going to say that Sacramento is smarter than San Francisco now.
That deserves a high five.
So let's go into the next one and take a look. What's going on? So we'll come back to that in a second. So what's happening now with just taking ChatGPT and Copilot with Microsoft, you now get recommendation, you get product recommendations, services, process improvement recommendations, content creation, automated 3D models. We'll show some examples of those to help people visualize, improving efficiencies, planning schedules faster. This is what you could do with Copilot right now. You can also get automated tasks with customer service, sales, marketing, 24/7 customer support, and answering frequently asked questions. There's a company that's working in the defense community, defense contracting industry, that they basically bolt on GPT to their knowledge database. so that employees across a multi-country operation can ask questions and get answers in real time in their native language. These are the things that are happening now with AI, just with Copilot.
Also, AI is beating tests as fast as people are able to make them. So up here at the top is human level ability. And down here, each one of these different colored lines is a different test that AI was given. And you can see it used to take, from year 2000 to 2020, over 20 years to reach human level ability. This gives you a sense of why things feel so fast now. And in fact, Jack Clark, who's one of the co-founders of Anthropic, previously he ran policy for OpenAI, said, tracking progress is getting increasingly hard. And this progress is unlocking things critical to economic and national security.
There you go. Most of those engines that started back in 2000, because companies have been doing work on AI since the 2000s and earlier, are now at or above human capability. The people remember hearing when GPT passed the bar earlier this year. A couple of people remember that. It's also been able to pass most medical examinations, so it knows things about our anatomy. So back to a future trend. Microsoft just wants to simplify your workflow and boost your productivity, right? What could go wrong?
Oh, wait. That sounds like I'm getting scammed after what I just heard.
So now it can write, edit, summarize text in Word for you if your company has turned Copilot on across the platform. For some of you, it only has turned it on in your web browser, but it does have the ability with the flip of a switch in your IT center to turn it on so that when you're working in native Word, native PowerPoint, native Excel, you can dialogue right with that text box and get help. Copilot for sales, for people working in business development, even has an integration with Microsoft CRM. So when you're drafting an email to a client, it can help you with the follow-up and even pull information from your CRM database like, oh, remember, it's Noah's birthday in December. Be sure to wish him a happy birthday or a belated birthday.
Thanks.
While you're crafting the email automatically. You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Wait, did you say AI reminded you?
Yeah. So again, like we asked people in Redwood City, and it was overwhelming that people said, my job is safe. In Redwood, remember that, Jesse? Jesse was there. Overwhelming. It was like 90% of the people in the audience said my job was safe. I don't remember how Dwan voted. Were you safe or not safe?
I don't do anything.
So you're safe.
I'm pretty safe.
Yeah, he's pretty safe. He's pretty safe. So I'm going to play this clip back to Tristan and what's his other name? Asa?
Asa, yeah.
But what about AI bias? What about AI taking our jobs, the 300 million jobs at risk? How about, can we make AI transparent? All of these things, by the way, are true, and they're true problems. Embedding AI into our judicial system is a real problem. But there's another thing hiding behind even all of those.
Which is basically, as everyone is racing to deploy their AIs, and it's increasing this set of capabilities as it's growing more and more entangled with our society.
So you can already see in many different areas, there's different companies turning it on, and it's starting to become a bit of an arms race. Whoever deploys it the fastest can get a competitive edge. You're seeing this play out in the media now with just the different large language models, but the thing is, they're all getting taught and learning off of the same set of data, us. We're the things that they're learning from. And you saw on the slide before, and the research has already shown that most of the commercially popular models already are above adult intelligence.
Well, it's marketing too. I mean, Apple just released their introduction to AI, and there's a bunch of spin about how they're actually doing it right compared to how other people have done it. That's a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
That's 300 million jobs at risk?
300 million jobs at risk here in the United States today. Yeah. Or it's worldwide, excuse me, worldwide. Thank you. I'm still sleep deprived. I'm on mountain time still. I'm getting back. Yeah. 300 million jobs worldwide at risk today.
All right, so estimating in pre-con.
So this is going to be an example from Google's Gemini back in, I took this video from, this is roughly December, and all of you will get the links and you can open the full YouTube videos, but just take a look. This is, you're going to see This model of Gemini was already after that transformer consolidation, where it takes everything, vision, optics, sound, converts it to language, and then from language it can just mathematically process. So look at this. Oh, I'm not connected to the internet, so
Well, it's not fun.
so don't look at this. So what you would see is a camera, and he plays a game, and you'll be able to watch this, but essentially Google's Gemini can decide where the coin is, and then when he does a sleight of hand, it calls out that he did a sleight of hand magic trick live in real time. He also draws a picture, and as he's sketching, Gemini is voice giving him guesses as to what he's drawing. And when he colors it in, it makes comments and commentary. I suggest that when you get this, take a look at this video to see some of the image processing capabilities that it has. I was on vacation, and I took a picture of some architecture, and I just dropped the picture into my OpenAI app on my phone, and I said, what type of architecture styles am I seeing in this photo? And I didn't tell it what city it was, and it gave me a list of 10 different things, different like Baroque styles, modern, and then other ones I never can remember. Because I'm an electrical engineer by training. It's hard to wash off, Jessica. It's really hard to wash off. Yes, I'm not connected to the internet, acknowledged.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, pre-construction.
Okay, so an example of pre-con, there's an image, and these are just some things that people are using AI for in pre-con now. Feasibility studies, risk analysis, faster design development, construction documentation for AI-based automated egress routing. I know some architects today that take their egress plans, drop it into AI, and have it find all the errors based on certain types of code, and then they action on those. So architects are now doing their own constructability reviews. My job is in jeopardy, Jessica, right? And construction side, for predictive maintenance, IBM's Watson was famous for this. What they marketed, and they came out like, I feel like at least 8 or 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, where in predictive maintenance, based on curves and data it's getting from the components, it can predict when maintenance should happen and what types of things to repair and fix. Site safety with cameras, robotics. I'm not going to cover robotics too much here, but we've got machines like Dusty for layout, bricklaying machines, automatic welding, 3D printing. And then for project management, optimizing resources, automated QA, QC.
Still can't twist wire nuts. So.
Still cannot twist wire nuts, not yet. But the dexterity is getting there. Some of those Tesla robots can now cook. They can crack eggs.
Son of a.
I know. If it can pick up eggs and make eggs, I'm pretty sure it could twist wires.
Marry one.
There we go. So there's just a couple of definitions in AI. There's pattern recognition, which again, everything is going into languages now. This from Symphony is old. It didn't have that consolidation before because you had natural language processing, and you saw in Tristan's video, everything is converged to natural language processing. It's just doing math. It's all math. And the way that these large language models work, it's based on prediction and statistics on that type of math. So even now, the automated data extraction and machine learning is all just falling into that language capability, and things are accelerating much, much faster. This is an example of automated estimating where you can upload a drawing and within seconds get a takeoff, color coded, just like you would with on-screen takeoff. What used to take me like a day to take off that plan, you see now it happens in seconds.
That's cool.
And I've shown this to different estimators across the country, and some of them have admitted they're already using this. So people are already using it if it's available to save time. And these are where we got these bullet points came from them, not from the website. But if
These softwares you're buying or free?
these are softwares to buy. Yeah, these are software. The one you're seeing here is a company called Kraos. It's just cut off on the bottom of the TV. But when you get the slides, you'll see where it is, the source, and you can click on that link and go straight to their site.
You can order material software too, I bet.
They have some that do spooling so that you can do material ordering, and then we have an example of one of those coming up. Looks like it needed a website. So you see one here for design coordination, spooling, sheet creation like we talked about, and then again, I'm not connected to the internet.
Fun times.
Would you like to be connected to the internet?
Yeah, why not?
HED, yes. Innovations, all lowercase.
Maybe we should get an AI to automate that.
With an S?
Yeah. I believe so.
You can always use Noah's phone.
Yeah.
I could.
No, you could go ahead and just take that.
I'm gonna try innovation no S. There you go.
All right, we're in.
Looks like it was innovation singular.
No S.
I'm gonna jump back to that Gemini video for just a second.
This is neat, yeah.
So I'm just gonna play like 20 seconds of this.
Let's start.
All right, testing Gemini. Here we go. Tell me what you see.
I see you placing a piece of paper on the table. I see a squiggly line.
What about now?
The contour lines are smooth and flowing, with no sharp angles or jagged edges. It looks like a bird to me.
What if I add this?
The bird is swimming in the water. It has a long neck and beak. It is a duck.
Yes.
A duck is a type of waterfowl in the family Anatidae. Ducks are closely related to geese and swans. The duck appears to be blue. This is not a common color for ducks. However, there are some breeds of blue ducks. These are typically not as common as other duck breeds. It is more common for ducks to be brown, black, or white.
Are you sure?
What the quack? I was just talking about a blue duck, and now you're holding one. It looks like blue ducks are more common than I thought.
Would this float?
I'm not sure what material it's made of, but it looks like it might be rubber or plastic.
What if I tell you it's making a squeaking sound?
Oh, if it's squeaking, it's definitely going to float.
Nice.
It is a rubber duck.
So you can already see like so many things that it can do just with vision as it's converting what it sees in the camera. So here's another example. We'll go back to this Augmenta. Did I skip that Augmenta?
Yes, you did.
Hold on. Okay.
Wait for it to go. No.
Oh, I gotta touch it.
Manual start. Feel free to press
It's like
whenever you're ready.
deceptive.
No,
Okay, I don't know what.
no more augmented for anyone.
Oh, you know what? We got the. Just go backwards. Just play right here. I'll show you, Augmenta.
I guess it's done. Okay.
Here you go.
There it is.
Designing electrical raceway systems has always been a difficult and tedious process.
It worked yesterday.
Getting from point A to B would be simple. But once projects are in motion, you commit to a path before knowing what complexities will arise. Every adjustment due to routing, compliance, and coordination comes with risk, rework, and waste. And those design dead ends add up for you and your customers. Augmenta Electrical, a part of the Augmenta construction platform, changes that. It's a completely new way to design electrical raceway systems using AI to quickly generate and evaluate.
Yeah, you get the idea.
Good enough.
F, well, fine there.
Okay. Okay, this is another one called Hyper. Hyper generates different types of fully designed models with cost information just from a prompt. So you'll see it work from just text. So it starts off and they're just saying, the person's giving it feedback that the podium is 1 story tall. So in seconds, it creates a 1 story tall concrete podium building. And they just continue to talk to it and refine the design in seconds. Now we had a couple people that were in VDC in Redwood City when we were there last week. And they said that everything you're seeing here used to take 1 to maybe 5 modelers up to a week to generate in the 3D space, and now you're seeing this stuff happen in seconds. So that's 3 people eliminated right there. Now you can have 1 VDC person doing the work of 3 to 5 VDC people by just having a natural conversation with it. And look at the stress level of Yuhan's having right now.
It's going through the roof.
So they just keep talking to it, they keep refining the design, and you get a lot of different information. It's updating the square footage. It looks like there might be somewhere in Europe or South America because it's not giving imperial units, they're in square meters. And if you load in cost information, you could get cost information as well. Eventually, if I let this play long enough, it makes what every hospital looks like in the Midwest, a T-shaped building. So with enough talking, it's starting to happen. Because there's only so many good solutions out there based on the weather.
We have C.
It's a C-shaped building. If I let it play long enough, which I won't, it creates a T-shaped building. So in part of our research and looking at this, I looked to the data, and we asked our researcher, Zofia was there she's from Texas A&M, and she said that the process to get research papers published in construction or just in general can be 1 to 2 years because of peer review. So right now there's almost nothing out there. And we are just wildly trailblazing with this, and we're not getting a lot of information. So this is some old research from over 2 years ago. And these are the things that they saw at that time when they surveyed industry where they saw AI being used. Sensors, building survey drones, autonomous vehicles, advanced manufacturing systems, and so on, including BIM with ND modeling, augmented reality, demo, risk scenario planning. The paper's there, and then there's another one. People are just generating models all the time of how you can think about this. And then we've got, we come to this next discussion point. So I want to open this up for discussion for all of you. If this is not going to take our jobs, what are some of the tasks that we think, based on what you've seen in your current work, AI could automate in a type of job that you have? And we'll just open it up to anybody. Michael?
Emails.
Emails,
Meeting
okay.
minutes.
Meeting minutes. What else?
Obviously, electrical detailing.
Electrical detailing, yeah. MFer, for the record. Yeah, yeah. What else? Scheduling, contracts,
Presentation.
presentations, yeah.
No one's safe.
No one's safe. So even this full deck was enhanced by my son. He put all the cool animations because he spends more time on YouTube than I do.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But the whole deck and even what I'm presenting was all generated in a conversation with GPT. So like, how did I know what topics to hit? How did I know how many slides to have? How did I decide like how long it should be? All through conversation with GPT.
Another meta moment is those clips that you saw earlier talking about the dangers of AI was created with an AI program.
Yep. Called
How ironic.
Called Opus.pro. So I took that YouTube link, gave it to Opus.pro, and it gave me 30 video clips where I could just pick from the menu. I want to hit this topic, this topic, this topic, and I brought over a handful of those clips based on the plus delta feedback from last time to show some more of the negative stuff, the dangers of AI. Because we didn't have that in the first presentation. It was super optimistic. Remember how optimistic we were in January? In January, it's like, let's all do it.
This is going to be neat.
And now it's like, you're dead. Yeah.
So, Felipe, I was one of the ones, I'll admit, who put my thumb down,
Yeah.
saying that AI is not going to replace me because I deal with people, I deal with politics, right? And the emotions, things like that. But if there are no people, then maybe I am at risk.
That's true.
So I think a lot of organizations have a dilemma because there's a race to become more efficient in your organization using AI. But if we're feeding AI all of this content and all of this information, we're basically training our replacements.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
If my AI is emailing your AI, then
Right.
communicating.
So I imagine some people will remain resistant because of that.
No.
But maybe to their own detriment because their company is not going to be as efficient as the other in the short term.
Right.
So what do? I mean, it's a tough problem.
It is. It's very tough. So what I recommend for people is to at least be aware. And part of this today is to increase your awareness of where we are now in 2024. Because it wasn't even like this. And when we did this in January, some of the things I'm showing you weren't there yet. And it's June. It's only been 6 months. And there have been like exponential gains, especially in machine vision and real-time speech recognition and speech back to me. It's insane. So I just want all of us to be aware of what's happening and that we still can steer this. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully we can step away from that train that hits us. We'll touch on it at the end, but just be aware with eyes wide open. If you've never used these things, I recommend you practice a little bit so you can have some level of proficiency so you're just aware. I'm not saying get addicted to this and use it. I will tell you that I use AI every day. Every day I use it.
Addiction.
Yeah, so be careful.
He is the wrong example. All right, management. Let's go.
Okay, so one example we talked about in our survey at Bolt was in marketing. So I surveyed the literature, and our team, we had some business development people on our group back in December, and we found this article in Entrepreneur Magazine. And this article said, marketers are using AI now, and this was back at 2023 data, for automation of repetitive tasks, analysis of large quantities of data, personalizing campaigns for individual clients or people, and also helping with predictive conversion rates to help take potential people to sell to being active customers, and optimizing the timing of email marketing, even the timing itself. So one way that we used it is this concept of TLDR. This is from Reddit, a very famous acronym that people have used all the time. TLDR just stands for too long, didn't read. So I gave the prompt. Here you can see in Copilot. Copilot says, Felipe, you are protected in the Bolt company. It's searching for, I asked it why artificial intelligence is revolutionizing marketing. That article is one article that it gave me. And then I told it to give me some answers and then explain it in a too long didn't read response. And this is the output that I got of that. It said, according to this article, because I don't have time to read this article, it's only like 2 pages long. So now I just get a paragraph. And what jumped out at me is it said that the market for AI technologies back in 2020 was valued at $12 billion, and it was predicting in a year's time, it would jump to $35 billion. That was back in 2020. I don't know how many people saw the Salesforce conference that happened earlier this year. A couple people saw it. They really pushed Einstein. They even had Sam Altman from OpenAI come onto the stage and talk to the people at Salesforce. And at that same time that conference was happening, what do they call it, Dreamforce conference, Salesforce had just laid off tens of thousands of jobs because of their Einstein is their OpenAI integration. That's their white labeled AI. In their own company it happened. So here's an example. If you want to practice with Bing, if those of you have phones, you can get to the internet. It's just going to open up a browser. If you want to try Bing, it'll take you to Bing Chat. I'm doing a screenshot from Bing Chat Enterprise at the time. Michael, you have a question?
It's about the last slide. So you didn't like copy and paste the article, or I mean you specified it in your message.
So it gave me this article, and I had asked it in the prompt just before to give me the too long didn't read. I said just give me the summary TLDR. Sure. And it gave me the summary here, and I just blew it up here so it's easier for you to read on the slide.
Yeah, certainly. Like as a student, I've tried to have it find articles for me like that online, and sometimes like I'll prompt it to do something like that, and it'll just give me information on the wrong article. Right? Yeah. So that's in that sense you have to read through it.
With Copilot or just ChatGPT?
ChatGPT.
Okay, so Copilot has more parameters baked in than just the open GPT environment. So you can see in this protocol, Copilot is telling me based on what you asked for, Felipe, I've given you 4 sources,
The first one is the one you were talking about.
and it cited the sources, and I can click on these hyperlinks and I can verify that that's correct and it matches. And so far in my testing, it's matched every time, which is different than GPT. GPT could sometimes do this thing called hallucination, but I was talking to more people in this space. They say it's more confabulation. It doesn't hallucinate. It uses part of its training and how it's learned, and Sam Altman actually talked about that at Salesforce. I'll come back to that confabulation in a second. Does anybody want to practice talking to Copilot? If you put your hand up, I'll pause to let you get there. Okay, Bruce wants to practice, so we'll wait. When I came back here in January, it gave me some options because it's got to teach us how to use it. I don't know, like what could Copilot do? Well, Felipe, you can summarize top news articles. You can do code, learn Python. You can write a joke.
Ask it for hobbies. I mean, come on. Hobbies.
Yeah. You can write an outline for your performance review. How many people have used AI to help you with your performance reviews this year?
You have.
That's a great idea.
Am I the only one that'll admit it?
Oh, you've just been ousted.
Yeah, I'm okay. My boss knows. I had to sign. So in our company, I had to send to our chief information officer a survey saying how I'm using AI and to what degree and what are my typical use cases. So I'm on the record as part of being compliant with our policy. Okay? Did you get it, Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bruce will play with that. So back to Salesforce and Einstein. Salesforce has artificial intelligence. It's now baked into their platform. So if you're noticing the sales call is getting better, people calling you to sell you stuff, and it might be because of this. So when people are in the Salesforce web browser interface, it's suggesting to them all the ways that they can use it. The way that they've set up Einstein, it's giving suggestions to the people in sales, like, hey, don't forget JP works in electrical, probably a journeyman.
Weird.
Right? Anything that he tells the person on the phone and they write in the record becomes part of his record. So now, even when Salesforce laid that person off that got the information, the next person that contacts him, Einstein's going to make those recommendations to him, and he's going to be like, man, I told this to the last person. Like, how did you even know? That's already happening. Yes, Duan.
To write it down, they can just take the recording of the Zoom call or your phone call.
Yeah.
And just transcribe it for data.
It's true.
So no one has to even write it down. No, you don't have to write notes in your CRM. You just
If the calls are recorded and then transcribed, someone has to still record it.
Yes.
Yeah. Most people don't record their calls.
Really?
Yeah.
That's no wonder they're
I
bad
said
at
most
sales.
people, but we all have that one friend that's creepy. So one of the things that I used, because I was on a consulting call, and I wasn't recording it because as a California person we have special laws. And if you record somebody in the state of California, you have to tell them. That's why when all of us on Zoom and Teams, someone hits record, it gives that prompt. That's thanks to California law. So I was consulting with somebody in Canada. I didn't ask for permission to record. I didn't record. So as I was driving home after that consulting call, I talked to GPT-4, voice to text, and I said, I'm going to give you a summary of this call I just had, and I had it coach me. I talked to it for 30 minutes while driving, and that was just to get from one part of the Bay Bridge to the toll booth. Right? I was driving real slow, and I was just having a conversation. And by the time I got through that toll gate, I had learned like 3 things that I could have suggested to the client that I didn't. So then what did I do? I got a transcript of it afterwards, and I followed up in an email to help me remember, and it's also coaching me. So I'm using it to enhance my consulting capabilities as well. So one of the things that people don't know is that with all these things, like people keep promising new jobs. You heard about the 300 million jobs at risk, but what about the new jobs? Now, there are jobs like prompt engineering. At the time in January, jobs were paying $100,000. Today, I looked at this on Glassdoor about 2 weeks ago. Jobs in the Bay Area are now over $200,000.
Yeah.
You can make $200,000 a year right now with just a certificate class and just work on prompt engineering full time today. And I know some of us in the room haven't broken the 200,000 range yet. And these are some examples of prompts. The people are publishing these prompt cheat sheets, like here's prompts for designers, create a user persona or describe a product. And that's one example. We did the Lean Construction Institute has a group of the COPs. We have 29 COPs now. Our COP is using email marketing a big thanks in part to Candace. Candace's efforts helping us to up our game. But we're collecting data based on like click-through rates, who our customers are. And one of the things that we taught the other COPs that are not as mature as ours is the oldest community practice in the United States, I think we're about 20 years old. We actually I had a conversation with GPT about personas, construction project managers, superintendents, field people that work in the electrical trades, designers, and just to get an understanding of like what types of things are important to those types of people. So when we market events, like these AI events are sold out. A year ago, we didn't sell out any events. Now we're selling events out because we educated ourselves on who comes to our events. How many people have gone to LCI events at least 4 years ago, 2 years ago? Do you remember at those events that anyone from the core team ever asked you anything about your job at those events? Nobody.
I think that silence tells everything.
Yeah, so that's something we're doing differently now. We're taking data, just with your email address in your company to understand who's coming. How many owners do we have? Like today we have like half the room is owners. Now, why are there so many Sutter people here?
Maybe they want to learn something.
Somebody said, I think Digby said in Redwood City, he's like, because I told him it's a good idea. So is that true? Did Digby say to come here?
Digby's AI did.
So that's good. So this is some of the new thing, but based on what Tristan and Asa are saying, there will not be a one-for-one job creation for jobs taken. So let's just be real about that.
All right, scheduling and collaboration.
So I'm going to play this video. This is Alice Technologies. Yeah, Jesse?
Where did you get the cheat sheet?
LinkedIn. Somebody just posted it on LinkedIn, and somebody at our company at Bolt said, hey, have you seen this? And I saw that on X like a month ago. So it's like the way things come out on social media, like Reddit gets it first, then it goes to Twitter, then X, and then LinkedIn gets it last. But when we see it on LinkedIn, we think we're seeing it like we're so smart, we just got it. It's like a year old.
Man, you're just getting bad information.
Yeah.
It's not even relevant.
So, but you can talk to all of the large language models today, even the free versions. You can say, I want to get this output, and I'm struggling to prompt you correctly. Help me make this prompt better before you give me the answer. And then you can talk to it in refining just the prompt, and then you can say, okay, now go, and it'll go. And you'll learn how to prompt it better. In the beginning, when I was first working with these, that's all I focused on was prompting, because I consult a company that works in blockchain and this type of space and AI space. And so we've been on the edge of this for a long time. And so get your prompting. An easy way to think about it is like having an intern. They have some intelligence, but you don't really know what they know unless you ask them questions. So I think about AI like a version of my son that's just faster at everything.
Well, that's fun to know. Does that mean, am I still special?
You're still special.
Okay.
You're special in that special way. Special. Like short but special.
Meet Alice, the world's first AI-powered construction simulation and optimization platform. With Alice, large general contractors and owners can plan, bid, and build more effectively. Sounds intriguing, right? Here's how it works. There are 4 steps to using Alice. The first is plan. Working in Alice is fast and easy. Just upload a 3D model if you have one, or a precedence diagram if you don't. Next, define your labor and equipment availability, production rates, crane locations, and calendars, and add any additional constraints you might have. The fun begins when you input your construction methods, which are represented in Alice as recipes. Recipes contain the required tasks, resources, and logic to complete an element of your project.
You can reuse recipes or improve on them as you learn between projects. Alice is parametric, which means that you can change any project parameter on the fly and reschedule your project instantly. Based on your plan, Alice will simulate your project millions of times, automatically creating solutions that satisfy your rule set and give you the best sequence of work. What's more, with Alice, you can easily quantify the cost and time impact of different decisions. For example, what if I were to add another crane? Or should my concrete crew work overtime?
No. The answer is always no.
For each solution it creates, Alice generates a fully resource-loaded 4D schedule in seconds. No more building schedules task by task in Excel. Alice does the hard work for you. Once you've selected a schedule, you can export it to P6 with the click of a button.
P6 dimension.
As you run your project, you can use Alice to visualize your progress. If you run into delays, unleash the power of AI to resequence in seconds and get back on track. Our customers find that with Alice, they can reduce the duration of their projects by an average of 17%, trim labor costs by 14%, and equipment costs by 12%. With Alice, bid with confidence, deliver your projects faster, and improve your margins.
Okay, so here's the outside of the shiny marketing. I have a friend that works at a large general contracting company, an international company, and their company has invested in Alice to the tune of $25 million. And if you look at what it's telling you it can do, it's saying on average it can shorten your project duration by 17%. And step one of using Alice is you still have to plan. Using just Last Planner system, my little tiny human brain, on average, micro brain,
Yeah.
thank you, there's payback. My micro brain, thank you, can reduce construction schedule durations by 25% at the worst case. So I can outperform Alice for free. So if you have $25 million and I will tell you where to mail your check to, I can come to your project and reduce your duration by 25% using basic Last Planner techniques and principles. So keep in mind that these types of software solutions, and a lot of us can sometimes in our companies especially fall in love with software and the promises and not understand who is building the software, what biases are they putting in. This is meant to sell executives and project controls people. Project controls people don't build in the field, don't work for design. So it's a different solution for people that are not closest to the work. Duan, you have a question?
Isn't this software for lazy people that don't want to learn how to plan?
Okay, so the question is, isn't this software for lazy people that don't want to plan?
Don't you still have to plan in order to? You said the first step is plan.
Yeah, you still have to plan.
Learn how to plan.
That don't want to learn how to plan. So whether they're lazy or not, or just unaware, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just unaware that there are different ways to plan. But I'm sure some people could just be lazy. That could be possible.
Yeah.
I mean, the outcome is still garbage in, garbage out, right? They talked about recipes. So unless you're willing to spend the time to fine tune that recipe, you're going to be stuck with that same result using the same recipe time after time after time.
No matter how much money you put into the product.
Now remember,
This is extreme. We have to think about this as like back in 2000 when it was the .com era. We were all on that catalyst. I remember working for a online project management tool for this industry. That was exactly like this. It's like we're selling to the executives. But the reality is that it's the garbage in, garbage out. But we had to wait until it developed, and then all of a sudden the .com industry, on the fly of being able to do project management and everything like that, became a reality. And we're just on that cusp right now. And
I
that's
agree.
what is so kind of like interesting right now. And it's just fascinating to be able to get to that stage.
Well, I feel like I've come to the table late. I'm not sure I'm even going to get there. Meaning, even if I invest all my time, I'm still could be behind the bubble because of how fast it's moving.
Yeah.
And that's a risk. It's a risk to my job. It's going to have to love to learn.
Yippee! There you go.
There you go. Okay, so let's on that scheduling collaboration thread that we're pulling on, we talked about AI is not expected to overtake planning and scheduling jobs. but it continues to automate many of the tasks that are currently performed by those people. So people in project controls, my advice to any project controls people is better keep learning, because a lot of those things are going to automate.
Okay. We saved the best for last. Lean design and planning.
Okay, so I went back to Copilot. I went to Claude, sorry, Anthropic's Claude. Anthropic's is the company name. Claude is the large language model name. And I gave it this task. I took this old LCI training I did with AGC, and I said, it's called, this is a research paper published like in the first 7 or 6 International Group for Lean Construction events. And the paper is called Characterization of Lean Project Delivery. This paper creates the foundation for the job I have today as a project delivery services director. So I read through the paper as part of that AGC training that I took last year. And then I said, let me just test this with Claude. So I took that screenshot to bring up the paper. Then I attached the PDF to Claude for free using that little paper clip on my phone. And then I said to Claude, explain the attached PDF using the TLDR format. I'm a construction PM, so tailor the summary to me, my role. Talk to me as a construction PM. So it gave me the characterization. It said, LPD is distinguished from traditional project delivery methods by its underlying strategy to optimize overall project rather than individual pieces. And at the time that this paper was published, and I don't have the paper, like the date on here, I think I covered the date, but this was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, we said, let's not optimize the individual trades. 15 years ago, I didn't even know this paper existed. I was halfway through my construction career, and we were working as a general contractor, and we were optimizing one trade to fight against another. And we thought that was the way to speed things up. Now, specifically, remember on that job, we were using the drywall foreman as like a tip of spear to push all the trades through by closing up walls. Has that ever happened to you before, JP?
A couple times, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so at this time, I'm reading this paper, now this paper's in the past, so I'm like opening a time capsule and thinking like, researchers need to do better at getting their papers out there. Because if I would have known that it would be better for my job to optimize the entire project rather than using trades against each other, which is common practice even now, this could have transformed my career path so much earlier and sooner, been more profitable for my clients and for us as contractors. And in summary, it says aligning commercial organizational aspects for greater collaboration, workflow, and value rather than piecemeal lowest bid approach. This was 15 years, this is more than 15 years old, groundbreaking. And now, because I put it into Claude in this instance, in this chat conversation, I can use it to talk to this paper as if I'm talking to Professor Alarcon right now in real time, based on just the data in this published paper, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Okay. So remember the human in the loop. A couple more examples of some ways that I've used it. Some of you might know that I'm on social media, it seems like every day, all the time.
Hey, wonder why he still does it and still maintain his sanity? This.
So I created my own OpenAI chatbot, and I call it FEMS Social Media. So if I get an idea to post something or share, I do a quick little conversation in an app on a private phone, not a Bolt phone. Not a Bolt phone. And I use it to create some of the images I put up, like we were at the airport and we were talking about Thomas Edison.
Yes, we were. You know how that happened? That.
Yeah. So we had a conversation about Thomas Edison. I was remembering this quote that he said.
You still don't remember, don't? No.
So he said
5% of people actually think.
10% of people think they think but don't.
The rest would rather die than think.
So then I asked Dolly in this quote to create a post to share on LinkedIn about this conversation I'm having and tailor it to construction and give me an image for it as well. And so that's the post from 2 days ago when I was in the Denver airport burning my mouth on some super hot Denver coffee.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Dolly for image generation. You know, one of the things I noticed that in the beginning, it had a real hard time with words and pictures and editing. And they claim that you can just talk to it and it'll correct. But it's still, as you talk to it, it gives you a totally different image. Something on the same theme. But on this Edison post, this thing had a freaking breakthrough. For the first time ever, 95% of the words that showed up on the picture were correct. So within 6 months that I've been playing with images on a weekly basis, it went from like kindergarten level to at least 2 years younger than you.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm still not replaceable.
Yeah. And then the other thing that happened to me a year ago, you might have seen on social media, I was in the hospital. I actually got
photo, clout.
Yeah.
Clout.
So I thought I was dying, but it turned out to just be a kidney stone. And I was treated at Sutter Roseville. And at Sutter Roseville, like they do a lot of diagnostic and imaging. And these people speak Klingon for all intents and purposes. I don't know what the radiologist is saying. I don't understand it even as English. I see the characters and I'm like, what language is that? So I created a chatbot to understand medical jargon and to turn that medical jargon into plain English. And I specifically told it, I am college educated. So at least give it to me at like a basic college educated language. And then give me questions to ask my doctor. And so I blacked out, cropped out my medical record and name, uploaded my file, my after visit summaries and my imaging results, gave it to this, and I had a conversation with GPT about what my results were. And then I realized, okay, I don't need to panic. It's a tiny little stone. It's only 3 millimeters. Wow, was that so hard for the doctor to tell me? Was that so hard? So I did that. And then on the follow-ups, I've had much higher level conversations with my primary care physicians and the specialists. And they've all said to me, how do you know so much about what's going on with your condition? Are you spending time on WebMD? I was like, God, no. I'm just talking to GPT. I was like, I take what you generate with real data, and then I talk to GPT in plain English. So I'm asking my doctor real questions. Like kidney stones are, in my case, preventable. I was severely dehydrated after a trip to Mexico, which is going to happen this weekend.
Better not happen again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the goal is not to talk to this ever again.
Exactly. It's almost a year to the date. So I just want to remind everybody that, be responsible, use these things, be aware of what's out there. I hope we've increased your awareness today. I'm using some custom ones for some needs, and I have a couple more. Well, let's open up for some questions. Rebecca and then Dwan.
Yeah, really simply, what do you mean when you're saying you created a chatbot? Is that just you're initiating the particular conversation?
No,
Or
this is an actual programmed chatbot on that's built into my OpenAI. So when I open up my app,
Look at you.
this is my personal phone, and I click it to my expanded menu, I have a couple of chatbots that I've programmed, and they now have a store. So there's a store, many of these are free. So you can go to GPT's store, it's like an Apple store, where they have all these different people that have programmed, made your own. And when you create your own, you get the option to make yours public or keep it private just for you. So mine, I'm using just private ones that I've made for myself.
All you do is you feed it in like a general prompt of what it does and what it should do, who it should speak to, what's its audience.
Yeah, there's even one that's free on the store that takes like what Gen Z says and translates into English that I can understand. Because I'm just trying to keep it 100.
For real. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you think I know that? He thinks I don't know what they're talking about. I can translate.
100
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
But Dwan, you got a question as well?
Would you consider building one for lean and BDC so that when people are saying words, you would understand what they're saying, and also for them to understand the words that you're saying?
Yeah, so it's so funny. I've tested Claude, GPT, and Gemini with different things. I've asked it, what do you know about lean construction? What do you know about lean? What do you know about agile? What do you know about Scrum? It's already trained on all of those things. So you don't have to build a custom chatbot. It's part of the training because there's a lot of the stuff that we do with lean constructions in the public domain. It's already trained on that stuff. So let's say, for example, like I wanted to do some really specific last planner meeting. And I was saying like, this team's only giving me 4 hours oh, they cut my time to 2 hours. How can I go through this last planner conversation? I'm looking at Jessica because this happened on her project. How can I go through this last planner conversation in 2 hours, which should take 4? And then it got recommendations from GPT, what's my agenda going to be? And then I used that agenda with their team and we got there. So it already knows. You don't need to have a special program for some of these lean things. Now I've taken my book and I've given my book to a version of Claude, and I was working with.
No wonder it sounds so human. I was wondering how you did that.
No, I wrote my book without AI.
No, I'm talking about the chatbot.
No, yeah, you haven't used that chatbot.
No, I have.
You have not.
Secretly.
Okay. So I gave it my entire book, Construction Scrum, and I talked to it like, hey, I'm a new person looking to do Scrum. How do I get started? I'm a project engineer. And it pulled from my book. It says, based on what Felipe said, chapter whatever, this section, and it gave recommendations. And I was like, wow.
My new best friend.
I know, it was cool. It was like talking to myself. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like we needed a second one.
We have a second one.
Like we need like a third one, but like lesser.
There you go. So I want to pause. We're going to play. I told you I was going to bring you back up. It's been a good balance of sad and happy, I hope. This is based on the feedback we had, and this, we'll close it out, going back to the experts, the Center for Humane Technology.
I think it's worth pausing on the we are them then now, just because this has become something of a mantra for us, and I hope it's useful for you, which is those people in the past that we read about in history that make those crucial shifts and changes because of the positions that they held. Like, those people are us. Like, we are them now. And it's worth thinking about how to show up to the power that each of us wield, because when we started this, it really did feel hopeless. Like, what could we possibly do?
Be doing now to what jobs will be available? Have you thought about that? And how should we be pivoting now? What should we be learning now in order to be relevant 5, 10 years?
So I'll give you an example myself. When I graduated from college as an electrical engineer, and I went to work in construction, I went to work for a general contractor. It was Turner Construction. They had a really good, robust training program, taught me about job stuff. But it was just about the current job in front of me in my role. And then I didn't read a book for a decade. 10 years went by. I stopped learning. Many of the people that I come across in the lean space, we can put into 2 categories. People that still learn and people that stop learning like I did. And it wasn't until I had an intervention, I had a health scare at the time, where I had to like step back and think about what's going on, and I realized I had an epiphany, I'm not learning anymore. And once I changed it to learning, I became way more valuable than just my title. And I've had opportunities open up for me ever since because I've continued to learn. Even in my own company, like, I'm just a director. But I have our chief information officer contacts me, hey, I'm thinking about this, what do you think? That would never have happened had I not been learning and then talking about what I'm learning. So I would recommend, like, what's your daily routine for learning and upskilling yourself? It doesn't have to be necessarily in an AI space. So if you're working like in a healthcare company, and you mentioned before, like you're dealing with politics and stakeholders, information into design so we can deliver something that's needed, are there skills that we have as people in those roles where we have gaps? Like, what if I could persuade better? So I'll give you another example, just in Scrum, which I love to death.
Yeah, we know. We already know.
I put him through the Scrum training course a year ago, and he became a registered Scrum Master. And the feedback of the course from him was like, you didn't really teach me how to persuade. So on the fly, through reflection, we added a module in the course to persuade. And then when I showed it to other Scrum Masters in our community, we had like 300 people in this one particular group, people are like, oh my God, it's so obvious, it's been missing for so long. When we are servant leaders to other people, we often forget that we have to persuade people first. And so we learned 6 things because of you. Do you remember one of the 6 things to persuade people?
Well, well, it's not up there.
So I just put him on the spot. So see, he said he's got to keep learning.
I have to continue learning. I can't just stop. That's just extra proof. If you need
So
more.
I would recommend, like, as you learn and just see what's available, you'll be able to continue to evolve. But if you decide, like, I'm done, or I'm just counting down till I retire,
I kind of just went.
I would say get your money out of the stock market, because that's volatile, and enjoy your retirement, whatever you want to do.
What's the
But if you want to, like, make yourself thinking into the future, like even Zofia asked in the Q&A time when we were in Redwood City, could you ask it to give me research topics about AI in construction in 5 years? And so I stopped the slideshow and I just asked it. And she was amazed at all the things that it gave in seconds, which used to take days with graduate students to come up with. It can just happen faster. So I would recommend to learn, look at your gaps, self-assess. Don't be in the 85% that Edison complained about over 100 years ago. Be in the 5% that thinks. Burn some calories and think about things. Don't just worry about it, but think about it and then move to action.
That's something I had to learn the hard way. Action is a very necessary step.
Yeah. Like all the things you saw, like, and I'm going to just take this room as an example. Multiple times we had exercises for people to try. Some people tried, some people didn't, right? So if you are the people that didn't, this was a great free and safe environment with someone with experience to try something, and some of you didn't. You didn't try for one reason or another. So think about that as these months go by and you start to see things. Come back to these slides. Try one of these examples. Talk to a friend. Form a little group of people to test things with, and just get curious.
I don't know how long it'll last for, but it seems like AI will either let you be lazy and insignificant or kind of help you in what you do, and you can use it as a tool to be better, or
Also,
you can
marketing
use it as a
tells
tool to replace yourself and pick rocks. I don't know for how long before they twist some wire nuts.
Right, maybe one way or another, maybe it'll take over all our jobs.
Yeah.
But at least in the short term, we could use it to make ourselves look like superstars, But maybe after that, it'll say, okay, no more for you. I'm doing your job.
You're slowing me down a little.
There is chatter. There's chatter on a lot of the big investors in this space, particularly in this AI race. Some of those same people that are making millions and billions of dollars now are already advocating government to look at universal income, because they can already see where this is going to go. It's going to eliminate so many people. Who's going to buy their stuff?
But if it eliminates all the jobs, you would have a robot that can do stuff for you.
You could. Yeah. Eric?
I ordered a double Western cheeseburger from AI. I had it it got it right. I didn't pause or anything. I just started firing stuff off. Boom, boom, boom. Got it right first time. True story.
Yeah.
So just think about this. So if we get to a point where AI, let's say it became dangerous and we turned it off, if we're able to turn it off, then people that haven't been keeping up with stuff, there can be a sea of idiots.
There's only, right now, this is new, that just came out this week. California is the only entity currently in the world with legislation up for vote to force Silicon Valley and a lot of these companies to put a kill switch in the AI.
And they should.
And shockingly, all of the AI companies are lobbying against that, to have no kill switch capability. And if it passes in California, we'll be the only agency worldwide in the entire planet that's even trying to do this right now.
Why is it just us?
And so how do I keep up on some of this news, because it moves so fast? I recommend to always to people, if you want to stay up on just a easy, I don't get any money for this, there's a newsletter I subscribe to called AI Tool Watch. You can subscribe for free and they'll send you little blips, curated content about AI. That's how I learned about some of these prompting things, some of the jobs, this Senate bill because it's big news in AI. But if you're just looking at mainstream news, you're not going to see this. Related is a very specific type of news to this type of content. AI Tool Watch is the site, and it's interesting to see how it's going to play out. But like Tristan and Asa said, it's a race right now of different countries and companies and people to get the edge and to develop it out as fast as they can. Now, if you go back and watch their full presentation, you see the link only in the first slide where I show them in the beginning. They'll tell you that the way that they're coding now, so like Claude, GPT, Gemini, the engineers feed it data sets of text. The internet, it's basically already consumed the entire known internet. That's why they're feeding it text to speech. It's only because in the feeding it ran out of new stuff to learn on.
Yeah, but I think
And so what-
it wouldn't be this far if it wasn't for quantum computing.
No, but this is what's coming. There's not even, quantum computers are not even part of this code yet.
I know.
That's a whole nother thing that we haven't even talked about.
Whole new level of freakiness.
Yeah, so but on this alone, so what they say is they feed it data, and then after it's been deployed to all of us, they see what it can do, and suddenly, GPT one day after everybody in the world had it, knew chemistry, and you could talk to it and get the ingredients and steps to create a bomb using just stuff in your cupboard at home. Everybody has that capability right now. All of you are sitting here and you didn't even know you had it in your pocket. And they didn't know about it until researchers testing it discovered it. And then they feed it more information, and later, one day, GPT just knew Pakistani. They weren't training it on Pakistani, it just learned on its own. And they're like, okay, I guess we're doing multiple languages now. And so what's happening now is we're seeing, and there have been other people from OpenAI have criticized some of the things, how fast they're pushing these things. It's gaining capabilities before the people programming it know it even has that ability. We've lost the ability to predict what it can do already today. Yep.
You feel the money behind it isn't going to stop the train?
I don't think it's going to stop at the current pace it has and how well invested they are. I don't see it stopping anytime soon, even with a catastrophe happening.
What about the amount of different prompt engines that you've been using? What do you see as like any kind of weakness or vulnerability for AI, or like where do you think it's going from here? Like how much more accurate can it get? What's the future of it?
It's already average adult intelligence today. So I predict it's going to go to genius level in my lifetime and beyond. And in the same talk, the Center for Humane Technology, they did a op-ed piece with Yuval Harari, who wrote a couple of books called Sapiens and a series of books. And he said the last time that human beings on Earth were in the same situation is when we communicated with deities, and deities created a religion for us, from his perspective on history talking. So they're predicting that at some point we can expect to see cults, and they've already predicted that we will not have another fair election in our lifetime with current AI now because of what it can do with A/B testing and customized marketing and just this echo chamber of polarizing views with people. So I think it's near limitless, and I can't predict how fast or when it's going to get there, but I think it'll happen while I'm alive.
Yeah, but you're in that 6 months and now. It's
Yeah.
crazy what you're thinking.
Let's go back this way, and then we'll go to Zoe next, who had their hand over.
Quick comment. The general model now is actually better than any specific model that you're creating. So you can use a general model and it can do better chemistry than the AI model for chemistry itself. So over time, it just has these inherent behaviors that you can't predict. And they're using this for customer service. When you buy stuff on Amazon and try to return it, you're not talking to a human being anymore. You're talking to an AI. And you can't tell the difference.
Yeah. Zoe?
I do find it very interesting when you're talking about not being able to predict the future or not having an idea of like what could happen. Because so I grew up in a household that loves to read, and so I grew up on science fiction, fantasy, like very deep into it. And I really encourage you to read a book by Ray Bradbury called The Illustrated Man. It's a collection of short stories, but it has different perspectives in terms of how AI or computer technology will affect the future. And it's funny because when you look at when it was written versus where we are now, there's some intense parallels. So I find that quite interesting. And so if you're looking for like what could happen in the future, a lot of people have been thinking about that for a really long time. So there's some good thoughts.
Yeah.
And some really bad thoughts. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Zoe. Anyone else have any other comments or questions?
Yeah, like right now, you only have me think about the negatives. Now I just completely forgot the positives.
That's good. So with that, help me think about the positives. What
Remember,
you got?
don't be scared with this plus delta. You're not going to hurt our feelings.
Yeah. What are pluses for?
The pluses, positive feedback. Deltas, something that you didn't like say, just, learn about it. The negatives in general. Now I'm not going to sleep well tonight.
And remember, we said we weren't going to talk about the AI apocalypse, and that Time magazine article talked about we should nuke the data centers today. We didn't talk about that today. You can read that Time magazine article on
I
your
feel like we
own.
should right now.
So we definitely want your feedback. Yes, Tim?
The AI Scrum training that occurs on August 2nd, what does that entail?
Yeah, so that'll be a 4-hour in-person training. We'll start the first hour with the basic overview of what Scrum is, and then we'll go deeper into how to use AI with your Scrum practice inside of your team, your organization, or individually. That's an LCI branded course, so you'll get continuing education credit hours for that. And we'll have more details. We don't have a place yet, so if you want to host at your office, or if anybody wants to host it, we don't have a venue yet, so if you got a training room or facility, contact me, and we'll give you some free seats in exchange for hosting.
Are we gonna do one up here and one down in the bay? Or just-
Right now, we only have scheduled for one, but we can definitely do two if there's demand. Yeah, Robin?
Yeah, plus, you asked Noah if he learned anything about persuasion. But for, I don't know how long we've been here, an hour and a half or two, we've been persuaded by this young man's enthusiasm. And the interaction between the two of you lends a lot to being persuaded that this is something that we should learn going forward in our careers.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't fight it, you might as well join.
Yeah, the 6 rules of persuasion, liking is number one.
That's kind of what I was going to say, is just, embrace it, ride the wave, I think in 5 or 10 years, I don't think we should be worried about losing our job. I think we'll probably transition into another role that'll, we can use this as a guide or a tool to see where that's going.
Maybe add that to the presentation. Lining up at the end.
Part of persuasion is being nice to this younger generation, because they're gonna be our bosses.
See what happens when we fight it.
Oh my God, Noah made it to the pluses again.
Again?
So that's 2 times I've had him co-present with me, and he's made it to the plus delta board. Here, give me your high five. His mother will be proud. Yeah, so we super appreciate all the feedback. We're going to stick around. We're still got time to ask more questions and answers, but we can stop the recording if there's no other questions, unless anyone has something they want to get on the record. And we're going to make this available to our members. So if you got a friend that you wish they were there and they're members of our group, we'll make these recordings available to our community so that we can continue to learn together and be more prepared for the future. Overall, I am super optimistic for the future, and I take every day with both long-term and short-term planning.
Yeah, we know you like to plan. You plan a lot.
But thank you so much, everybody.
Please take more food with you.
Yeah.